So my talk is about how India can leapfrog using blockchain technology. So a little bit about what is blockchain. Thank you. So I hope you can see that it's a stack of newspaper. So I'll introduce blockchain in a way that everybody can understand without any jargons, right? So every day we get a new subscription of newspaper every day on our doorstep, right? So when you get a newspaper every day, it's full of information and time is written on top of it, right? So every day when you get it, you keep it in a stack like this. Each newspaper every day get built on top of one of another. You keep it in a separate way, right? You keep it in this way. So blockchain is exactly like this. A new information gets added on top of the previous one every day with a link. What is that link? The link is the time. Every day, every new day, you will get a new newspaper which is sequential to the previous day. So in blockchain, if we consider this analogy, blockchain is also exactly like this. In a stipulated amount of time, you generate a new piece of information, just like you get a new newspaper every day. In a single day, we get one newspaper. In blockchain, we generate a new block. That block has date and information on top of that. Okay. So, let's consider how do we update or add any information in it. So when we put any information in this blockchain, we get a new block. But when we have to update anything in it, we need to issue a new transaction in it, new information in it. So let's talk about that update. Whenever we need to do any correction in the previous information that you have got, in the newspaper case, newspaper people used to issue an apology next day. So in that sense, you have two pieces of information: the previous information which was wrong and the new information which is updated now. So at any point of time, you have two pieces of information if somebody wants to correct that information, because they cannot, the people who are publishing these newspapers, they cannot go physically on each and everyone's doorstep and correct that piece of information. So what they do, they issue an apology, and because of that apology, they have two updated information. Similar way, in blockchain, if you try to do any time you want to update any information, you will write a new transaction. And that's where blockchain's true case comes up. If you want to update anything, it's gonna give you two pieces of information. It's gonna leave the audit trail in an immutable way. The way you have two newspapers which is having the previous information and the correct information. Similarly, blockchain is going to have two versions of that information, and everybody can see it. That means if I'm like in a 5th grade and somebody is dictating an English, let's say I'm getting a dictation in English and spelling error happened. So what I do, I strike that and write a correct spelling. If a teacher is going through that, they can make out that the previous spelling was something and that person has updated something on top of that. That's why anybody can see that there are two versions of that information. So blockchain allows you to do that. You can always see what is the previous one and what is the updated one. This is a very creative way to show that I am alive. This is a very interesting story that I want to show. This guy is the creator of Ethereum blockchain platform. There was this hoax floated on internet in 2017 that this guy is dead. So there is very simple way that I can prove that I am alive. I can take a piece of newspaper. So if I have to prove that I am alive, I can hold a newspaper, today's newspaper, against my face and take a selfie, and the the headline on top of that newspaper, anybody can, in a distributed way, can verify that whether I'm alive or dead, right? So similar way, this guy actually took the identity of that movement's generated block from the blockchain, right? From the blockchain, it took an identity of the recently generated block, write it on the paper, took a selfie, put it on Twitter, and proved that he is alive in that very moment. Why? Because he was using blockchain in a very creative way. Same way, Julian Assange have also used it to prove that whatever the information he's trying to share with the whole world in this live video, it's not pre-recorded. He recited a Bitcoin blockchain's block hash, just like this thing, the identity of the block, just to prove that whatever I'm recording is getting recorded right now. If I have to prove that this TEDxDITE is happening today at this very point in time, I can open a blockchain and I can read out that identity of the block, right? It's a very creative way. So that's the way he used blockchain to prove that he was alive, right? So let's move further. Okay, so why blockchain India, right? So how this blockchain marry with the Indian context and the countries like India? So guys, if I talk about what's happening across the globe, we are very much lagging. And why we are lagging? Because of certain reasons which relates to policy creation, regulation creations, and all those sort of things, right? So, but people in India, the community with which I'm connected, I know that those people are really pushing hard, right? So these are the very specific use cases that I'm going to discuss with you, but there is like many more. It's just one very like 1% or 0.001% of that, right? So very quickly, blockchain in education. So how can we use this technology where this technology allows us to identify frauds, right? What are the frauds happening in education? In education, the frauds are happening at degrees level, university level. You will get a lot of news if you just search that there are certain fraud proofs, you see that what are the frauds happening in universities, fake degrees, fake diplomas, right? This is a problem that we are trying to address to solve via blockchain. India can do that. India has fraud in degrees are very rampant in India. We have to stop that. Why? Because it doesn't give a cleaner picture for the whole world. Because whenever we go out and our degrees are questioned, and if any person, any student get their degree fake, it's just a black dot on the image, right? So this is the problem. What is the solution? Solution is blockchain. By blockchain, if all universities, let's say AICTE, UGC, they say that yes, whatever the certificates or degrees we are going to award, we will tag it on blockchain. That means we can never ever create a backdated entry into the siloed registers or databases of those universities to create another fake entry. The problem is not the fake degrees. Fake degrees is not a problem, but the problem is what the impact, what's the wrong thing it does. Let's say you get a fake degree of MBBS. You are risking lives of the patients that you are directly dealing with. Suppose you are a structural engineer. Structural engineer can put lives at risk if there is some beam or something is not correctly put in place. These are the problems. We are creating shallow talent. Recently, Pakistan Airlines find that 6 of their pilots were having fake degrees. They were not even metric. Just see the impact. In India also it happens. It's not just about Pakistan. This is the recent one. So it's very easy. Yeah, everybody will acknowledge this fact that it's very easy to get that thing. Blockchain in healthcare and pharma. In pharmaceutical, again. If let's suppose I'm diagnosed with cancer, God forbid, so I'm gonna be on medication or some sort of thing. If I'm diagnosed with a critical problem, I have to start medication. How do I know the medication that I'm taking is actually coming from, let's say, a reputed pharmaceutical industry? I do not have any track whatsoever, right? Pharma today is actively looking to solve their counterfeit drug related problem via blockchain. That's the impact that we are talking about in today's world of blockchain. In healthcare, I'll talk about healthcare in a very specific case of Ayushman Bharat, PMJY, Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. So, Ayushman Bharat only deals about claim processing. You can go walk up to a networked hospital, you can take a whatever the services that you have to take, you can come back. Government is going to fund that hospital for their services. So this is called claim processing. Claim processing right now is being done by NHA, National Health Authority. They recently updated to National Health Authority. Earlier it was National Health Agency. It is being spearheaded by CEO in the Bhushan. So right now they are working with 5 or 6 agencies which are trying to weed out the fake claims. Fake claims again is actually impacting India. Why? Because fake claims are gonna give extra money to them, which could have been used to solve some of the tier 4 cities persons, right? So whatever we try to solve with blockchain is gonna impact India to grow more economically stronger, right? Blockchain in HR services. Companies like TCS, Infy, Wipro, these companies conduct background verification. While they conduct background verification, freshers are on always probation period. Probation period is like a period if they find anything questionable about your information that you provided to them, they can easily fire you. And if they'll fire you, you do not have anything to say to them. Why? Because there is no law which protects you from them if they find anything questionable about your submitted documents, right? So you have to be very careful while you are doing. So for the honest people, you do not have anything to fear. They can just fill it up, right? But the people who are putting anything fake, they have to be weeded out. Why? Because they create shallow talent and they create an environment in which our image, if we go out network, because to now it's like Vasudhaiva Kundakam, you can go anywhere, you can start your business, you can live anywhere, right? But at the end of the day, it's the image of India that gets tainted if you do not do something correctly. Blockchain in HR services solve that by having a layer of trust. It provides you a sacrosanct layer of trust on which you can always put the information. Let's say the way we use blockchain in education will exactly fuel this blockchain in HR services. Let's suppose all of your educational background data is presented on blockchain, and whenever you apply in, let's say TCS, let's consider a better name or some bigger company, or you go outside to work, they can verify your information almost real time. Today it takes 3 to 6 months. Why? Because your education verification is the slowest in nature. You can verify PAN, you can verify Aadhaar, you can verify passport almost very quickly. There are services available from government. But consider that you have done from, let's say, VIT or some IIT. So either they will have a department which will take care of these kind of requests coming from outside to provide that valid data, whether that is available or not with them, right? So you can think about that. Today we are talking about 3 to 6 months of timeline to verify you as a person, and then we are talking about a split second. It's like entered something and pressed enter, and they have all the audit trail that is verifiable on blockchain. In India, SP Gen Mumbai have done that. They have released their 1200 candidates. They have awarded their 1200 candidate certificates on blockchain just because of this very reason there, because they want to tag them on blockchain and anybody can verify them in an instant. That's how blockchain can save a lot of money to the companies, for that companies, by putting their educational verification on the blockchain. Blockchain in visa services. I'll share my example in this. I was supposed to go to Parag. I went there, but this is what the friction that's where a normal people can lose a lot of money. So when you apply today, this is a visa process. You apply. Let's say I have to go to company X, right? Country X, and I'm going there. I have to apply there physically, fill a form, put some money, and then they will verify you as a candidate. What are their points to cross-verify you? If you have traveled before to other countries C, they are gonna ask that country's embassy that how was this guy? Did this guy return in time? Was this guy deported or anything that could have happened in a wrong way? They just cross-verify that kind of information. So if the two countries' embassies are talking to each other, there is a lot of friction. It's exactly like the way we do education verification. Either they will respond in time or they will not. Sometimes that's why they ask you to apply for visa at least good amount of time, like well before, ahead of time, right? If that information would have been put on blockchain, let's say these anecdotal feedback, if they would have put onto the blockchain, they do not have to send emails or exchange these things. They can simply have a platform where every information will be shared about that particular candidate, all the anecdotal things. So they just have to put in, let's say, your passport number, and then you have all the anecdotal feedback about that particular person, and then you can make out whether you are doing right or not. And then they can think whether I'm awarding the visa to a right person versus wrong person. So I talked about these very specific things, but there are a lot of information that is available outside and use cases which we can try to solve via blockchain. My only goal was to come here and to let you know about where exactly blockchain can be used, what is the impact of using blockchain, how it can actually solve the issues which are never seen before. A new technology always helps us to relook at the ecosystem for the unmet needs. Blockchain, after inception, it has solved some of the crucial problems. These are some of the problems which I discussed with you. They are unmet till today. We do not have a single platform which can give you a complete audit trail of your education. We do not have a system which can give you complete audit trail of your healthcare system. You do not have your healthcare data. If I were to ask you, what was the top 5 or 6 problems that you face in your own journey in the last 5 years about your health, you do not have that information with you. But that information, if you fall ill next time, can be very crucial for the doctor who's diagnosing you right now. This is the time where we can actually start using or leveraging this blockchain technology. And I did not talk about decentralized identity. If you were to put any information on top of anything about you globally, we have to do it via digital identity. And that's where I will conclude my talk. Thank you.